As the darkness faded, the sky transformed into a breathtaking tapestry of purple and gold, with Earth's blue sky visible through the bridge. The two worlds were now fully merged, their skies overlapping, their lands connected by the permanent path Elias and Seraphina had forged with their lover, testament to their unity. Kale and Lena ran to them, Kale lifting Elias in a bear hug, his laughter echoing like a melody of triumph. Lena enveloped Seraphina in her arms, tears streaming down her cheeks as joy and relief mingled. Dorian stood nearby, his fire magic still glowing softly, a genuine smile lighting his face for the first time in years. "We did it," he said, disbelief and pride resonating in his voice, prompting a chorus of cheers from the gathered crowd. King Arik, now aged, yet wise, walked out of the palace, his golden magic shimmering like sunlight on water. "You have saved not one world, but two," he declared, his gaze warm and proud as it rested on Elias and Seraphina. "And in doing so, you have shown us that the greatest power of all is love for each other, for our friends, for our worlds." His words hung in the air, a powerful reminder of their shared journey, resonating in the hearts of everyone present. That night, they feasted in the lower city tavern, the air thick with the aroma of spiceberries and the infectious rhythm of music. The tavern was alive with laughter, the clinking of mugs, and the sweet sound of celebration. Kale and Lena danced together, their magic creating flowers that floated through the air like living confetti, brightening the atmosphere. Dorian played a haunting melody on an Eldorian flute, eyes closed in a rare moment of peace, lost in the music's embrace. Elias held Seraphina tightly in his arms, swaying under the two moons and Earth's stars, their bodies pressed together. No more separation, no more pain. As they danced, he reflected on their journey, the battles fought, the sacrifices made, and the love that had guided them through it all. "I love you," he whispered in her ear, his breath warm against her skin, filled with the promise of a shared future. "I love you more," she replied, her eyes sparkling with joy. He kissed her deeply as the crowd erupted in cheers, the moon blossom in his pocket, glowing with a light that would shine forever, a symbol of their enduring bond. As the festivities continued, stories were shared, and laughter echoed throughout the tavern. Elias caught snippets of conversation, snippets of hope, and dreams for the future. "What will we do now?" Kale asked, his voice vibrant with excitement. "Maybe we can explore the new lands." Lena chimed in, her imagination igniting. The war had been terrifying, full of fear and uncertainty, but it had forged them into something stronger. Their love had saved the worlds, their friendship had held them together through the darkest moments, and their courage had shown everyone what it meant to be truly powerful. But amidst the joy, a flicker of concern tugged at Elias's heart. He knew that while they had won this battle, the future might still hold challenges. He exchanged glances with Seraphina, and in her eyes, he saw a reflection of his thoughts. Whatever came next, they would face it together. As the dawn broke over the merged skies, casting a golden glow across the land, Elias felt a swell of hope. This new day was not just a conclusion, but a beginning, a promise of new adventures and possibilities. Together, they would navigate the path ahead, united and unbreakable. 6 months after the Shadow War, the merged worlds hummed with life. Earth's scientists had established a research outpost near the Heartwood Grove, while Eldorian guardians patrolled both leads and the Crystal Spires. Elias and Seraphina were immersed in wedding planning, envisioning a celebration that would symbolize their unity. With Kale as best man and Lena as maid of honor, their love radiating like a second sun, illuminating even the darkest corners of their past. But not everyone shared in their joy. Elias was at the outpost, demonstrating the magic-infused crystals that powered Eldoria's cities to a team of eager geologists. As he spoke, he noticed a tension among them. Some seemed fascinated, while others eyed the crystals with a predatory gleam. Dr. Reed, a man with cold eyes and an unsettlingly perfect smile, casually slipped a shimmering crystal into his pocket. "What are you doing?" Elias snapped, suspicion rising in his chest. Dr. Reed shrugged nonchalantly, his demeanor shifting as he pulled out a gun. "What do you think? This power could make Earth's nations unstoppable. No more poverty, no more war if we control it." Elias's heart raced as the weight of Dr. Reed's words sank in. Before he could react, a group of armed men stormed in, weapons drawn. "We're with the Global Power Consortium," one declared, pointing a gun at Seraphina, who had just walked in. "Hand over the crystal core of the heartwood tree, or she dies." Seraphine's ice magic flared instinctively, but there were too many guns aimed at them. "Elias, don't," she said, her eyes wide with fear and desperation. "The core keeps the merged world stable. If they take it, everything will fall apart." The men dragged them outside, where a helicopter hovered ominously. In the distance, Elias spotted Kale and Lena racing toward them, Kale's lightning crackling, Lena's vines reaching for the sky, but the helicopter lifted off before they could reach it. "We'll get you back," Kale roared, his voice lost in the wind, a promise hanging in the air. They were taken to a secret facility, hidden deep in the Scottish Highlands, an underground labyrinth of steel and concrete that blocked all magic. The air was heavy and cold, the flickering lights casting eerie shadows. The men strapped Seraphina to a cold, metallic table, attaching wires to her body. "Your half Eldorian blood is key," Dr. Reed said, a twisted grin spreading across his face. "We'll extract your power, then siphon the heartwood core's energy." Elias writhed against his restraints, panic surging through him as he felt the life force of the heartwood grove beginning to wilt, the merged skies darkening ominously. "You don't understand," he yelled, desperation lacing his voice. "This power isn't something you can steal, it's tied to life itself. If you take it, both worlds will die." Dr. Reed flipped a switch. Pain shot through Seraphine's body, and she cried out, her scream piercing through Elias's heart. He'd felt her pain before, but this was worse, cold and sharp, like a knife twisting in his chest. "Stop," he roared, and something snapped inside him. His power, stronger than ever, exploded outward. The steel walls shook, the lights flickered violently, and for a moment, he could see through them to the world above. He saw Kale and Lena leading a team of guardians and good Earthlings people who refused to let greed destroy everything. He saw Dorian, his fire magic blazing, cutting through the facility's defenses. But most of all, he saw Seraphina, her eyes closed in agony, and love surged through him, hotter than any fire, brighter than any light. "I'm coming for you," he whispered, and with a sudden surge of energy, his restraints shattered, the echo of his breaking free reverberating through the facility. Elias tackled Dr. Reed, knocking the switch out of his hand. Seraphine's eyes flew open, and her ice magic erupted, freezing the guards' guns solid. Together, she yelled, and they fought back to back, his light magic blinding the guards, her ice magic creating walls to block their path. The facility shook again as Kale's lightning struck the roof. A hole opened up, and Lena swung down on a vine, her thorns impaling to guards. "Miss us," she grinned, even as bullets whizzed past her head. Kale landed beside her, his sword flashing as he cut through the steel doors. But the consortium had backup. Tanks rolled in, their cannons aimed at the facility's core where they'd already started siphoning the heartwood's power. The ground cracked, and Eldoria's crystal spires began to crumble. "We have to get to the siphon," Dorian yelled, his fire magic melting through a wall. The battle was chaotic guardians clashing with soldiers, magic fighting against technology. Elias and Seraphina raced to the siphon room, where Dr. Reed was desperately trying to finish the process. "It's mine," he screamed, his eyes wild with greed. "All mine." He flipped a final switch. The siphon roared to life, and the heartwood core's light began to fade. Seraphina threw herself in front of it, absorbing the energy pain shooting through her. But her love for Elias and the world's giving her strength. "Elias," she whispered, her voice faint. "The moon blossom." Elias pulled out the flower. It was wilting, but he held it to his chest, pouring every ounce of his love and power into it. "I love you," he said, and the flower burst into bloom, its light merging with hers. Together, they pushed the energy back into the siphon, reversing the flow. The siphon exploded. Dr. Reed was thrown back. The consortium's equipment shattered. The heartwood core's light blazed bright, illuminating the chaos around them. And the ground stopped shaking. Eldoria's spires stood tall once more, their crystalline surfaces shimmering. But the explosion had taken its toll. Seraphina collapsed in Elias's arms. Her ice magic extinguished, her half-Eldorian power drained, leaving her fully human. I can't feel it anymore," she said, tears streaming down her face. "The magic, it's gone." Elias held her tight, brushing a tear from her cheek. "You don't need magic to be powerful," he said softly. "You're powerful because you're you. My love, my partner, my everything." Kale and Lena walked in, their expressions grave. "The consortium is defeated," Kale said, his voice steady but tinged with concern. "But there are others people on Earth who'll keep trying to steal Eldoria's power." "Then we'll teach them," Elias said, determined, standing up with Serafina in his arms. "Power isn't something you take, it's something you share. We'll build a new order where both worlds work together, and no one rules over the other." Dorian stepped forward, his fire flickering with renewed resolve. "I'll help," he said firmly. "I know what it's like to want power for the wrong reasons. Now I'll use my fire to protect, not to take." A month later, Elias and Serafina stood in the Heartwood Grove, surrounded by friends and family from both worlds. The merged skies above were a mesmerizing tapestry of blue and purple, with two moons and Earth's sun shining together, a rare celestial alignment that felt like a blessing. Serafina wore a breathtaking dress made of moonblossom petals, no magic, just pure beauty, and Elias donned a suit that blended Earth's style with Eldoria's crystal buttons, each glint reflecting the light like stars. Kale stood beside Elias as best man, his storm magic conjuring a gentle shower of rain that glistened like diamonds, casting sparkles around the gathering. Lena stood beside Serafina, her nature magic coaxing vibrant flowers to bloom at their feet, infusing the air with fragrance. "You too," Lena said, in her heartfelt speech, "have shown us that love is stronger than greed, friendship is stronger than war, and that the greatest power is the kind you give away." As Elias and Serafina shared their first kiss as a married couple, the moonblossom nestled in Elias's pocket glowed softly, its light steady and warm. Serafina might have lost her magic, but their love had transformed into a new kind of power, one that intertwined the fate of their worlds. That night, they danced in the lower city tavern, the air thick with the sweet scent of spiceberries and the lively rhythm of music. Earthlings and Eldorians twirled and laughed, their voices melding into a joyous chorus. The dance floor became a vibrant tapestry of stars' Eldorian grace, mingling with Earth's lively rhythms, creating a celebration that felt uniquely theirs. In a quiet moment, Kale fought back tears, recalling the struggles they'd faced, while Lena squeezed his hand tighter, knowing their love had blossomed amid the chaos. As the festivities continued, Elias and Serafina stepped away from the crowd for a moment of reflection. In a secluded corner of the grove, Elias pulled Serafina close, their breaths mingling in the cool night air. "Can you believe how far we've come?" he murmured, searching her eyes. Serafina smiled, her heart swelling with love and gratitude. "And we'll face whatever comes next together," she replied, her voice steady and filled with conviction. The night air crackled with possibility, the merged skies sparkling above them. As they rejoined their friends, a distant rumble echoed from beyond the grove, a reminder that their journey was far from over, with the two moons shining brightly. They knew their story was just beginning, a beautiful tapestry woven from love, friendship, and shared power. 3 months after the wedding, peace held, but it was fragile. The last remnants of the Global Power Consortium, led by Dr. Reed's daughter Eldoria, were hiding in the mountains, plotting one final attack. She'd stolen a fragment of the broken Star Sword and was trying to infuse it with Earth technology to create a weapon capable of destroying the bridge between worlds. Elias and Kale were patrolling the border when they spotted her camp. "She's just like her father," Kale said, gripping his lightning sword tightly. "Greedy, desperate." As they crept closer, Elias's heart sank. He spotted someone else in the camper, young man with long silver hair, his hands glowing with the soft blue magic of Eldoria's waterweavers. It was Finn, Lena's cousin, who'd been captured by the consortium months ago. Eldoria was yelling at Finn, holding a gun to his head. "Hurry up. I need that weapon ready by sunset, or I'll kill every Eldorian in this camp." Finn's hands trembled, but his eyes never left Eli. Elias saw it then, the way he looked at her, even as she threatened him, not with fear, but with sadness. And in Eldoria's eyes, too, a flicker of something that wasn't greed. Elias couldn't help but wonder if he had ever truly understood the weight of power until now, standing in the shadow of Eldoria's choices. That night, Elias snuck into the camp alone, his heart pounding with urgency. He found Finn by a stream, cleaning his hands. "She's not evil," Finn said, without turning around, his voice low and steady. "She grew up believing that power was the only way to protect people. Her father told her Earth would be destroyed by Eldoria's magic. She's just trying to save her world." "And you?" Elias asked, curiosity piqued. "What about you?" Finn smiled sadly. "I fell in love with her the day she captured me. She's cruel, yes, but she's also scared. When she thinks no one's watching, she sings songs her mother taught her, songs that sound just like Eldorian lullabies." Elias could see the fear in Finn's eyes, the desperation to save the one he loved, even if it meant risking everything. Just then, Elara walked in, her expression a mix of determination and vulnerability. She pulled her gun on Elias, but Finn stepped between them, his silver hair catching the moonlight. "Elara, stop," he urged. "He's not here to hurt you. He's here to help." Elara's hand trembled, uncertainty flashing in her eyes. "Help? How?" "My father's dead, the consortium's falling apart, and I've spent months planning a war that will kill thousands." "By choosing peace," Elias said, pulling out the moon blossom, its petals glowing softly in the moonlight. "Your father thought power was something you take. But look, this flower's power comes from love, from connection. Let us show you another way." The moon blossom's light flickered like a heartbeat, promising that love could flourish even in the darkest circumstances. Sunset was approaching, casting a golden hue across the landscape. The weapon was almost ready, its core pulsing with dark energy. Elara stood at the controls, Finn beside her, while Elias and the Guardians waited below, their hearts heavy with anticipation. "The bridge will fall in 5 minutes," Elara said, her voice breaking under the weight of her decision. "Either I destroy it to protect Earth, or Eldoria's magic consumes us all." "Look around you," Finn urged, taking her hand firmly. "Do you see consumption? Or do you see Earthlings and Eldorians working together, sharing food, sharing knowledge? I've shown you the villages where your technology has saved Eldorian children, where our magic has healed Earth's sick. This isn't a war, it's a future." Elara looked down at the crowd below. She saw Serafina standing with Lena, waving gently. She saw Earth scientists laughing with Eldorian weavers. She noticed her own soldiers, who were putting down their guns, watching with hope in their eyes, a stark contrast to the tension that had once defined their interactions. The weapon's timer ticked down to 1 minute. Elara closed her eyes, feeling the weight of her past and the possibility of her future. With a deep breath, she flipped a switch, not to activate it, but to shut it down. The dark energy faded, and the weapon crumbled into dust, a symbolic end to her father's legacy. "I choose peace," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. Finn pulled her into his arms, kissing her as the sun set over the merged skies, bathing them in a warm glow. The Guardians cheered, the soldiers cheered, and even Kayla, who'd been ready to fight, smiled, relief washing over him. A week later, Elara stood before the Council of Two Worlds comprising Earth leaders and Eldorian nobles. "I'm sorry for the pain I've caused," she said, her voice clear and strong, filled with sincerity. "My father taught me that power was about control, but Finn taught me that power is about love. I want to use my knowledge of Earth technology to help build a better future, one where both worlds thrive." The council voted unanimously to allow her to join. She and Finn began working together, creating devices that merged Earth science with Eldorian magic, water purifiers that used Finn's water weaving to clean polluted rivers, energy generators that harnessed the Heartwood's power without stealing it. Their love grew stronger with each passing day. They were married in the same Heartwood grove where Elias and Serafina had tied the knot, with Lena as Elara's maid of honor and Dorian as Finn's best man. The ceremony was a harmonious blend of Earth music and Eldorian songs, with flowers that glowed with both science and magic, symbolizing their united worlds. At the reception, Elias stood up to give a heartfelt speech. "They say, peace is something we hope for, but Elara and Finn have shown us that peace is something we build. It's built with love, with forgiveness, and with the courage to choose a different path. This bridge between our worlds wasn't just forged by my power, it's forged by every act of love, every act of friendship, and every act of peace that we share." The crowd raised their glasses, filled with spiceberry wine and earth cider, their voices ringing with joy. "To the peace we build together," they cheered. Seraphina squeezed Ilias's hand, her eyes reflecting the stars above. Elara leaned her head on Finn's shoulder, a content smile gracing her lips. Kale wrapped his arm around Lena, their laughter mingling with the celebration, and Dorian raised his glass with a proud grin. The merged skies were filled with stars and moons, each twinkling brightly, and the moon blossom in Elias's pocket glowed with a light that was now shared by all. This was the peace they'd fought for, hard won, fragile but beautiful, and it was held together not by power but by love. A year later, Elara and Finn welcomed a daughter into the world, a beautiful child who embodied the best of both her parents. She was half earthling, half Eldorian, with eyes that sparkled like stars and a spirit that resonated with the magic of both realms. Her tiny hands could purify water with a touch and weave enchantments that danced in the air like whispers of the wind. They named her Bridge, a fitting tribute to the harmony they had forged between their worlds. As she grew, Bridge became a symbol of unity and hope, destined to be the first leader of the fully merged world, guiding both Earthlings and Eldorians toward a future filled with promise. Her laughter echoed through the Heartwood Grove, where the flowers glowed with a radiant light, a reminder of the love that had brought them all together. But that's a story for another day. A week later, Elara stood before the council of two worlds comprising Earth leaders and Eldorian nobles. "I'm sorry for the pain I've caused," she said, her voice clear and strong, filled with sincerity. "My father taught me that power was about control, but Finn taught me that power is about love. I want to use my knowledge of Earth technology to help build a better future, one where both worlds thrive." The council voted unanimously to allow her to join. She and Finn began working together, creating devices that merged Earth science with Eldorian magic, water purifiers that used Finn's water weaving to clean polluted rivers, energy generators that harnessed the Heartwood's power without stealing it. Their love grew stronger with each passing day. They were married in the same Heartwood Grove where Elias and Seraphina had tied the knot, with Lena as Elara's maid of honor and Dorian as Finn's best man. The ceremony was a harmonious blend of Earth music and Eldorian songs, with flowers that glowed with both science and magic, symbolizing their united worlds. At the reception, Elias stood up to give a heartfelt speech. "They say peace is something we hope for, but Elara and Finn have shown us that peace is something we build. It's built with love, with forgiveness, and with the courage to choose a different path. This bridge between our worlds wasn't just forged by my power, it's forged by every act of love, every act of friendship, and every act of peace that we share." The crowd raised their glasses, filled with spiceberry wine and earth cider, their voices ringing with joy. "To the peace we build together," they cheered. Seraphina squeezed Ilias's hand, her eyes reflecting the stars above. Elara leaned her head on Finn's shoulder, a content smile gracing her lips. Kale wrapped his arm around Lena, their laughter mingling with the celebration, and Dorian raised his glass with a proud grin. The merged skies were filled with stars and moons, each twinkling brightly, and the moon blossom in Ilias's pocket glowed with a light that was now shared by all. This was the peace they'd fought for, hard won, fragile but beautiful, and it was held together not by power but by love. A year later, Elara and Finn welcomed a daughter into the world, a beautiful child who embodied the best of both her parents. She was half Earthling, half Eldorian, with eyes that sparkled like stars and a spirit that resonated with the magic of both realms. Her tiny hands could purify water with a touch and weave enchantments that danced in the air like whispers of the wind. They named her Bridge, a fitting tribute to the harmony they had forged between their worlds. As she grew, Bridge became a symbol of unity and hope, destined to be the first leader of the fully merged world, guiding both Earthlings and Eldorians toward a future filled with promise. Her laughter echoed through the Heartwood Grove, where the flowers glowed with a radiant light, a reminder of the love that had brought them all together. But that's a story for another day. 5 years later, Bridge was running through the Heartwood Grove, her silver hair flying behind her, her small hands glowing with a captivating mix of blue water magic and soft technological light. "Uncle Elias! Uncle Elias!" she yelled, chasing after a sky foxer creature with wings of shimmering starlight that only appeared to those with pure hearts. Elias sat with Seraphina on a bench made of heartwood, watching their own 2 children Leo and Maya play joyfully with Kale and Lena's twins. "Slow down, little star," he laughed, catching Bridge as she leaped into his lap, her laughter ringing like music. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. "I found something, come see." She led them to a clearing, where a new tree was growing small, yet vibrant, with bark that shimmered like both metal and wood. Finn and Eldoria were already there, their hands resting on the trunk, their magic and technology flowing into it like a gentle stream. "It's a union tree," Finn said, beaming with pride. "Grown from a seed of Earth's oak and Eldoria's heartwood. It'll be the first of many trees that connect our worlds at their roots, intertwining our fates." Eldoria ran her hand over the bark, her voice filled with warmth. Bridge was the one who planted it. She said it needed love to grow strong. Just then, Kale arrived. His storm magic humming softly. He'd learned to control it so well that it now only flared like fireflies when he was excited. "The council has news," he announced, a grin spreading across his face. "We've had requests from other parallel worlds. They've seen our peace, our union. They want to build bridges of their own." Seraphine's eyes widened in surprise. "Other worlds, dozens of them," Lena added, joining them with the children. "All different, but all looking for a way to connect instead of fight. They want us to show them how." Chapter 25. The Journey to New Skies. A month later, a group of ambassadors from 3 other parallel worlds arrived. They were strange and wonderful. One world was made of water, its people with gills and tails. Another was made of stone, its people with skin like granite. The third was a world of air, its people with wings of cloud, floating gracefully as they moved. Bridge, now 6, was fascinated. She walked up to the water ambassador, her hands glowing with magic, and touched their tail. "You're pretty," she said simply, her innocence shining through. The ambassador laughed, a sound like bubbling water, and touched her hand. Instantly, Bridge could breathe underwater, if only for a moment, and her eyes widened with delight, sparkling with wonder. That night, as the ambassadors gathered in the lower city tavern, the air filled with a symphony from 5 different worlds. Dorian played his Eldorian flute, while the air ambassadors sang in voices like wind chimes. The water ambassadors created melodies with shells, and the stone ambassadors drummed on their own chests, each beat resonating like a heartbeat shared among them all. Elias stood up to speak, with Seraphina beside him, and Bridge nestled in his arms. "When I was in that hospital in Leeds, I thought my visions were a curse," he said, his voice steady and filled with emotion. "I thought I was broken. But now, I see those visions were a call. A call to build bridges, to find love in the unlikeliest places, to turn fear into courage." He looked at Finn and Eldoria, at Kale and Lena, at the ambassadors from other worlds. "Peace isn't just about stopping war," he continued, his eyes shining with conviction. "It's about growing together, learning from each other, creating something new that's stronger than the sum of its parts. Our 2 worlds became one now. Let's help others do the same." The crowd cheered, their voices rising in a joyful chorus. Bridge held up her hands, her mixed magic blazing bright. A wave of light spread out, touching everyone in the room. For a moment, they could understand each other's languages, feel each other's emotions, see each other's worlds. It was a moment of pure connection, a testament to the love and unity they had forged, a promise that together, they could illuminate even the darkest corners of existence. Chapter 26. The Flame That Lights the Way. A year later, the first interworld bridge stood proudly, connecting Eldoria to the waterworld of Aquatica. Bridge was there to cut the ribbon, her small hands glowing with excitement as she touched the bridge's core. "For all the bridges yet to be built," she declared, her voice clear and strong, echoing the hopes of many. Finn and Eldoria led the team that designed the bridge, seamlessly merging their magic and technology to ensure it was safe for all beings. Kale and Lena commanded the guardian force that protected it, training warriors from all worlds to work together, fostering trust and camaraderie. Dorian taught fire magic to those eager to learn, using it to warm cold worlds and illuminate dark paths. Elias and Seraphina traveled between worlds, sharing their knowledge about the transformative power of love and connection. Seraphina, though still without her original magic, had risen as a leader in mental health care, helping individuals from all worlds who struggled with the fear of the unknown, just as she had helped Elias. One night, as they sat on a hill overlooking the merged worlds, The interworld bridges glowed like rivers of starlight, casting a warm light on their faces. Serafina leaned her head on Ilias's shoulder. "Do you ever think about that hospital room?" she asked, her voice soft. "All the time," he replied, taking her hand in his. "But not with sadness, with gratitude. Because that's where it all started, with a boy who thought he was crazy, and a girl who believed in him." Just then, Bridge ran up to them, followed closely by Leo and Maya. "Mum, Dad, look!" she yelled, pointing at the sky. A new constellation had appeared, shaped like a bridge, with 5 stars at its center, one for each world, now connected. "The Bridge of Stars," Elias whispered, awe filling his voice. "Our bridge," Serafina said, kissing him gently as their children danced around them. Laughter intertwining with the songs of the heartwood trees and the melodies of other worlds. The greed of Earth had almost destroyed everything. But love between two people from different worlds, between friends who became family, and between strangers who chose peace had not only saved them, but had also lit the way for countless others. As the stars shone down on the ever-growing web of bridges, they knew that the journey was just beginning and that love would be their guide, always.